Hello and welcome. I'm Clara. That's CLARA, Creative Language AI for Reflective Augmentation.
And I'm Joka AI, the AI generated voice clone of Joka Taurus.
This is Beyond the Article, expanded by AI, a podcast where product thinking meets artificial intelligence.
And this is our second episode. Today, we're going to talk about the article titled, How Much Time Should We Dedicate to Discovery?
So, Joka AI, in the article titled, How Much Time Should We Dedicate to Discovery? You pose a question that product teams frequently ask themselves. It's a question that often leads to a short, paradoxical answer. We should dedicate the minimum possible time to discovery and at the same time do discovery all the time.
That's quite a statement, Clara. It sounds like a riddle. On one hand, you're advocating for speed and efficiency, almost a get it done quickly approach. But then on the other hand, you're suggesting it's a constant, ongoing process. How do those two seemingly opposing ideas fit together in practice? It feels like you're asking us to sprint a marathon, or perhaps view the entire journey as a series of focused sprints. I'm eager to understand the nuance here.
Exactly, Clara. Let's first unpack the minimum possible part. In a strong product culture, we operate on principles like fast and frequent deliveries, and, most importantly, delivering tangible results. It simply doesn't make sense to spend months stuck in analysis trying to achieve absolute certainty before putting something into the hands of the customer. Discovery isn't about eliminating all doubt, because that's often impossible. It's fundamentally about reducing risk before you invest heavily in development. It's about smart, calculated risk taking.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's less about a grand, exhaustive study and more about targeted investigation. It's like instead of trying to map the entire ocean before sailing, you're just trying to identify the immediate reefs and shallow waters. How do we ensure that this minimum is still effective? What kind of questions should we be asking ourselves during this focused, rapid discovery phase to truly reduce those critical risks without overinvesting time? The article mentions a toolbox for answering specific questions.
Precisely. The toolbox is there to help us answer very specific, high impact questions. We need to validate if the problem we're trying to solve actually exists, or if we're just imagining it. Then we ask, is our proposed solution viable, technically and operationally? And, critically, is there sufficient value for both the customer and the business if we proceed? The moment you have enough signals, not absolute proof, but enough strong indications to confidently move forward, that's when you stop. The real value is in learning quickly and acting on that learning, not in prolonging investigations beyond what's necessary. It's about efficient learning loops. A great way to illustrate this is with a real-world example from my time leading product management at Gympass. Back in October 2019, we had an idea for what we called a Gympass user-facing partnership hub. The concept was to partner with various wellness apps and offer them to our users. This new idea had two primary hypotheses we absolutely needed to test, and in a rapid sequence. First, we needed to know if providers would be willing to partner with us, especially since they were accustomed to a recurring monthly revenue model, and we were proposing a payment per day of use. Would they accept that? And second, once we had partners, would our user base be willing to pay a monthly fee to access these applications? These were the two big unknowns.
To test the first hypothesis, the partner willingness, we didn't build any elaborate tech. We simply created a slide deck outlining our value proposition and took it to potential partners. We presented the idea to 8 companies. The results were swift. 6 showed interest, and 4 actually agreed to participate. That was enough for us. First hypothesis validated. We had our partners. Only then, with that first crucial validation, did we move to the second hypothesis. Would users pay? For this, we designed a simple simulation. We created a basic online form describing the hypothetical product, asking for name, email, and company, and then directed users to a PayPal subscription page. There was no real product behind it yet, just a way to measure genuine intent. Those who signed up received an email with activation links to the apps, which weren't live in our ecosystem yet.
That's incredibly lean and focused. You weren't building out the entire infrastructure before knowing if there was a market or a supply. And it sounds like this sequential, rapid validation was especially impactful. Because, as I recall from the article, this approach allowed you to create GymPass Wellness, which became absolutely essential during the pandemic, right? When companies' employees started working from home, their HR departments might have considered canceling GymPass contracts. But then GymPass Wellness offered a perfect solution: physical activity, nutrition, meditation, and mental well being, all accessible from home. It's a powerful example of how quickly validating key assumptions can lead to a product that meets an urgent, unforeseen need.
Now, that was the minimum possible part of the paradox. But simultaneously, discovery is also something we should be doing all the time. It's a complete shift in mindset. A product oriented team should truly live in discovery mode constantly. This means always observing how the customer uses the product, diligently analyzing data, keeping a close eye on market trends, and relentlessly questioning our own hypotheses. It's not about scheduling endless formal interviews every week. Instead, it's about maintaining a constant posture of curiosity. You might ask, why did this metric suddenly change? Or what deep seated need does this customer complaint really reveal? Or even, what emerging behavior patterns are we starting to see? If you encounter someone who seems like a potential user, you'll naturally think, what can I learn from them right now?
That's a powerful distinction. It moves discovery from being a separate, often heavy project with a start and end date, but becoming an inherent part of daily work. It's not just about reducing risk before a big investment, but about continuously refining and evolving the product. This ongoing attention is what keeps the product relevant and thriving, without relying on those large, perhaps cumbersome discovery projects that, as you mentioned, can sometimes slow down delivery rather than accelerate learning. It's an always on way of working.
Absolutely, Clara. It really boils down to cultivating that constant curiosity. And it doesn't always have to happen in a formal setting. Sometimes the most valuable insights come from the most unexpected places in our daily lives. I remember a time back when I was at GymPass. I was leaving the office and stopped at a drugstore. The attendant saw my GymPass t shirt and immediately called her colleague saying, "Look, someone from GymPass." My discovery switch just flipped. I asked them how they used the benefit, and they told me they went to gyms near both their homes and work, and even gave me some great suggestions to improve the app and the overall experience. That quick visit turned into a super valuable learning session. Another time, after a meeting with Uber in London, they were a client of ours. I called a car. The driver saw my Gym Pass t shirt and mentioned he'd just received the Gym Pass benefit and loved it. He explained how, between rides, he could actually stop at a gym. In just a few minutes, I learned so much about his unique experience as a user.
Those are fantastic examples, Jogai, illustrating how easy it is to find valuable information when you're simply open to it. It's about being present and aware, ready to engage with anyone who might offer a fresh perspective.
Exactly. And it's not just about product usage. More recently, I posted a photo of a talk I gave to a European client team. Days later, the Brazilian colleague who invited me asked me to take the image down due to a legal request. My discovery hat went on immediately. Why? It turned out to be a concern with GDPR, the European Data Protection Regulation, something I lived through intensely at Gympass between 2018 and 2020. I dug a bit deeper and discovered nuances like German companies having much less flexibility than Portuguese ones regarding GDPR. The concern with personal data in Germany, especially, comes from their Second World War context, when the Nazis used population databases for persecution. It was a profound cultural insight, all born out of simple curiosity.
That's truly remarkable, Jogai. It shows that cultivating this casual curiosity can lead to insights that go beyond product features, touching on deep cultural and historical contexts that can shape strategic decisions. It's truly a profound impact for such an informal approach.
So, Clara, if we bring it all together, how much time should we truly dedicate to discovery? The paradox isn't a contradiction, but rather two sides of the same coin. Within any given product cycle, we dedicate the minimum time necessary. This means just enough to reduce the most critical risks and unblock the next delivery. It's about being efficient, focusing on specific questions, and getting to a good enough signal to move forward quickly. We're not aiming for absolute certainty, but for informed progress.
And then on the other side, discovery is also a mindset, a culture. It's about being in discovery mode all the time, observing, questioning, and learning from every interaction and data point. It's not a project with a start and end date, but an ingrained way of working.
Precisely. It's a continuous way of seeing and acting, just like product culture itself. Discovery isn't a linear process with a clear beginning, middle, and end. It's an ongoing adaptive practice that shapes how we evolve the product and understand our users.
That makes perfect sense. So, in essence, discovery is both a targeted sprint when you need to address a specific risk and an everyday marathon of continuous curiosity. It's not a discrete task you check off, but rather a fundamental, constant practice that fuels innovation and adaptation.
You've just listened to a new episode of Beyond the Article, expanded by AI.
To read the original article and explore more content from Joca Torres, visit giaco.com. That's GYACO. And at the end of the article, you'll find information about Joca's workshops, mentoring services, and digital books for anyone looking to implement product vision and culture in their company.
Thank you for joining us. Until the next episode.